welcome to the 25th anniversary of the Otho Davis Scholarship Foundation. So how about a Philly welcome for Joe DeCamera?
Well, thank you, Stan, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome, as Stan said, to this phenomenal night. I need a raucous crowd tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because Nick Foles is in the house. Nick Foles! I got to find my guy, Corey Clement. Corey, where are you? Let's hear it. This guy was dominant in the Super Bowl. Corey Clement. What a season, what a game, and Corey, congrats on a tremendous career. How about as we talk a lot of Philly tonight, Philly special, Philly, call it what you will. He's out there. Let's hear it for Trey Burton, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is Nick Foles here and members of the 2017 Eagles, but so too from Action News, the legendary Jim Gardner. Can you believe we are seated amongst Nick Foles and Jim Gardner in the same room? How unbelievable is that? $20,000 scholarships tonight. So I thank you, all of you, for being part of helping to create what ultimately turns into a $40,000 scholarship donation tonight to these two individuals in the field that obviously Otho excelled at in such spectacular fashion. And speaking of Otho, it would be remiss of me to go any further without mentioning, if you don't know, Otho Davis this year is a candidate finally on like the list for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Otho Davis. We have what's going to be a tremendous countdown from 10 to 1. Let's start with 10, and then 9, and then 8, and we'll weave our way through the evening, ultimately to number 1. Let's roll the tape.
20! 20 seconds! Snap to Brady. They give to James White. Pitches it back to Danny Amendola. He throws a lob to Brady. Off his hands. Incomplete!
Good ball. He's got to catch that.
Come on, Tom! Beautifully orchestrated. A reverse and a lob off the hands of Brady, running down the right side by his lonesome.
The ball was right on the hands of Brady, and he just missed it.
You keep running all over the place, all right? You keep running all over him, baby.
Blood across the 20, the 50, the 10, the 5. The train is in the end zone. First and 10 Birds at the Patriots 34.
180! Is that?
Foles fakes. He steps up. He is going deep. Caught by Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown.
And after that big run, they immediately go up on top, and they get the big one to Alshon Jeffrey.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Great call, Doug Peterson. Outstanding execution by two really outstanding football players.
By the way, we saw it with moment number 10, and I'm pretty sure he's here. Is Malcolm Jenkins in the house? We got Malcolm? Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm, thank you for your phenomenal career with the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely tremendous, man, and wonderful to have you here tonight. Harold, does this night happen without Marie?
Well, I tell you what, she's working. Yeah, and she's the cause of all of this, y'all. You know, so whenever she gets a chance in here, please say hello to her.
Absolutely. Marie is just tremendous. Ymir Thomas Lowry.
I didn't know I was going to be speaking. I would have prepared something. And if I could speak for all of us, I would say we really appreciate you. Can we get a round of applause for the foundation? There was times where I thought I would have to leave school due to financial difficulties, but I have a village of women back home, back in Patterson, New Jersey, that never let me and never let those thoughts knock me off my path. I was able to be free and break away from a life that could have looked very different. I'm forever in debt to them, but this award is something that will help me now. For that, I am grateful, and I want to again say thank you to the Otho Davis Foundation.
All right, our next honoree tonight, scholarship recipient is Vince Quintiliani. Let's hear it for Vince. All right. So, Vince is in his second year, the Master of Science program in athletic training at Thomas Jefferson.
Good evening, distinguished guests, members of the Otho Davis Scholarship Foundation, family, friends, and fellow recipients. This scholarship is more than just a stepping stone. It is a reminder of the importance of perseverance, dedication, and service. Once again, thank you to the Otho Davis Scholarship Foundation for your generosity and support. I promise to carry this honor with pride, and I look forward to contributing to the world in a meaningful way, just like Otho Davis did. Thank you so much.
But before we break for dinner, how about someone who cared an awful lot about Otho Davis, and he cared an awful lot about him. One of the great Eagles defensive players that there has ever been, number 59, Seth Joyner. All right, as dinner is being served, let's give you 3 more moments from Super Bowl 52, and then we'll take a halftime break for dinner. Let's roll Super Bowl moments number 7, 6, and 5.
He is going deep, and is it a touchdown? It is touchdown!
Here we go, 2-7. That's your name in stone right now. Let's go.
Tom drops back under pressure. Throws it downfield for Cooks, who's open at the 40. Curls back to the inside. Decked at the 41-yard line. Ooh. Drilled by Malcolm Jenkins.
As you would expect, Doug Peterson with a gamble here.
4th and 1. Foles back. Foles fires. Foles completes it. They knocked him back, but his forward progress gave him the first down.
You know, that was huge right there. Let's see, 4th and 1 with 5 minutes to go. That was big time right there. And Corey, my man. Dude, you caught it. There was no taking it away from you. If the league had, we would have burned the NFL down. Corey Clements touchdown. That was crazy, man. Future Hall of Famer. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Kelsey. Let's get to plays 4, 3, and 2 from February of 2018.
Hey, let's put this thing in the end zone. All right, put it in the end zone. Execute. Rugby! Rugby!
Empty backfield. 4 receivers right. Back goes Foles. Fires. Slant. Touchdown! Zach Ertz.
Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Yeah!
They've taken the lead with 2:21 to go.
If ever there were a time, if ever, for this defense to rise to an occasion, and I mean that historically, it is tonight. Brady back again. He steps up his head and falls forward, and he fumbles the football, and the Eagles have it.
Fumble, get it! Get it! Get it! Let's go!
Brandon Graham rips the football out of the hands of Tom Brady.
Oh, there is that turnover we played for.
Let's go! Let's go!
9 seconds left. Eagles by 8. He is throwing it deep for the end zone. And it is batted around. And incomplete. And the game is over. The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
You know, I think this is our best event. You know how great it is to have Nick Foles, Jason Kelsey, Corey Clement, and Trey Burton here tonight to talk about the greatest play in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. And I'm here to talk about one of my clients, Otho Davis. In 1999, Otho Davis was dying. And he said to us in his bed, he says, I don't want any accolades. I don't want anybody to talk about me as if I've done something. What I did was my job, and that is to keep players healthy and let them have an extended career. So he said, what I really want is for someone, for you guys, for you four people to start a foundation to help outstanding students with a scholarship that are studying sports medicine. After that, we looked at each other. First thing I did was called Stan Wilgus, our CPA, ex-IRS agent. Then I called Jay Farrelly, who was an attorney at the time, and said, we got 3 weeks to get a foundation started in time for the Otho Davis tribute, November 29th, 1999. And we were able to get it established in time. And we gave out a scholarship that night. Now, after 25 years, we have abided by his wishes and have been giving out scholarships to people studying sports medicine. Here's a video of the great Otho Davis.
Dateline, the White House, November 24th, 1999. Dear Otho, I'm delighted to join your family, friends, and colleagues in congratulating you as you are honored for your personal achievements and legendary career as the head athletic trainer of the Philadelphia Eagles. In your 23 years with the Eagles, you worked with extraordinary skill and care to ensure that the team remained in top physical condition. You played a vital role in helping the players to overcome injury, reach their full potential, and excel at the highest levels of athletic competition. But more important than your success on the field has been your influence off the field. You've been a mentor and a friend to countless players, inspired and instructed a new generation of trainers, and exemplified the importance of teamwork, integrity, and courage. I salute you for a remarkable career and for your ongoing commitment to helping deserving young people attain the high-quality education they deserve. Best wishes for a wonderful evening. Sincerely, William Jefferson Clinton, President of the United States.
You know, I was thinking about it, and I thought just how short and sweet and simple and how divine that name is. Otho. One who trains and heals others. Otho's whole life has been dedicated to others. As has been said once again, everyone in this room, and a room that couldn't be this big, it couldn't be as big as Veterans Stadium. As you said, how many people he's touched, people he knows and people he will never know.
I didn't think I was going to be able to say anything tonight, and I can feel it coming on right now. But this man is taking care of me. I love you, man. I love you. This is...
The legend of Otho Davis lives on over in our training room. I've heard so many stories about the little bottle. And when nothing else worked, that little bottle came out. And I know these guys could tell you all about it and probably will later, but hey, I'll tell you what, you're something and you deserve every bit of this, and you're going to live on forever over there at Veterans Stadium and the new stadium to come. Otho Davis, thank you.
There's a legacy in Philadelphia, and that man's Otho Davis.
Otho Davis, folks.
And it is often been said that you can count your friends on one hand, and that doesn't include the thumb either. And I want to tell you something, you have proven that theory wrong, because I have rediscovered a lot of new friends. And I appreciate what you have done for the scholarship fund, and it's going to mean a lot for a lot of students. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift, and you've certainly given me a gift. Always remember that life and love are beautiful and precious, and cherish each to their fullest. Mary Lou and I love all of you. God bless you, and thank you for such a beautiful, beautiful evening. God bless.
I'd like to give a shout out to Tom Huckley, the current Vice President of Sports Medicine for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's our new Otho Davis. What a great college coach he was. What a great NFL coach he was. Won the Super Bowl. Every team that he has touched has turned out to be a great team. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's a better man than all of the accomplishments he made in football. I am so happy to call Dick Vermeil a friend. Coach.
Thank you, Jim Solano. Ladies and gentlemen, first I'd like to say that I have two special guests here tonight, my son David Vermeil and grandson Andy Vermeil. So there's 3 generations of us here tonight. We're honoring Otho Davis. I tell the same story every year because it taught me a lesson, and I'll get into my responsibilities. One time, big game played, we won it, and the game ball went to Otho Davis. Went to Otho Davis. We go to his funeral service, God bless him, and in his casket, in his beautiful suit, his one request that he also have his game ball. Now, what did that teach me? Never underestimate the value of a sincere gift. How much a person can appreciate something. You never know, it doesn't have to be a football from a winning game, but you know, sometimes you just take those kind of things for granted. I have never, ever forgotten that. I never have, I will never will. He has stayed up all night treating a player so he could play the next day. 2 and 3 nights in a row. I can remember Carl Hairston. Thursday, Friday night, Otho didn't go home because he wanted to play against the Steelers in the 4th game of the season in '79 when we were starting. Otho Davis stayed out all night. They stayed in that training room. Snooze, get treatment. Snooze, get treatment. Otho Davis. Now we're honoring a man that's done an awful lot for our area. You know, Jim Garner came here the same year I did, 48 years ago, 1976. We were both rookies in 1976. He held his job a hell of a lot longer than I did, I'll tell you that. I'm proud to have you on that plaque with my name on it and Ray's and all these guys that have had it. It's a real honor to add you to that wonderful list. Please come up. We're going to show a little movie right now. It's a nice little highlight of Jim's career. Roll the film.
The big story on Action News.
It was here that Pope John Paul II delivered Mass. The hostages have come home to American soil.
This past weekend marked the end of an era in Philadelphia.
I can't tell you what a thrill it is.
For the city and for every individual fan who bleeds green.
We're not going to argue about this again.
Depend on the Action News team.
Two best guys in the world to be here for everything.
That's correct.
That was really nice, Jim.
Oh,
I really appreciate that.
The least I could do.
Mine was a professional life, well lived.
The fact is that since I came to Philadelphia 48 years ago, as Coach said, I have been blessed with the opportunity to meet almost every individual who has had a profound impact on Philadelphia and Philadelphians, with one exception, until tonight. Dick Vermeil, it is much my honor to have finally met you. This night will be memorable for a whole set of reasons, but none more than finally meeting you, Coach Dick Vermeil. I want to thank you, Jim Solano, for making me feel so welcome throughout this whole process. I appreciate that. And as an outsider, I just want to congratulate the Otho Davis Foundation for all the thousands upon thousands of dollars that you have bestowed on students since 1999. I had the opportunity to meet both recipients earlier tonight. And if a foundation can sometimes be judged or defined by the quality of its recipients, then the Otho Davis Foundation really hit a home run tonight, because they are two spectacular young men. The day I arrived in Philadelphia, the last week of May 1976, I started setting down roots. I wanted to set down roots any way I could. And the way to do that, in large part, is through sports. I wanted to be a Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers fan, and I wanted that fast. I've come to think of my career in three parts. The first, Jim O'Brien and Don Tollefson, and then Dave Roberts and Gary, and the third, Cecily Tynan and Deuces Rogers. No news anchor anywhere in the country could have been luckier than I to have such talented and devoted partners and supportive partners. They gave me far more than I could ever give them. Sports still stirs the kid in me, but at this point in my adult life, where I've gained just a kernel of perspective, it also stirs the recognition in me that for me, for all of us, sports is a great deal more than just fun. Thank you for the honor tonight. I'm glad to have had the opportunity to talk to you. And thank you to the Otho Davis Foundation. Thank you.
Sal Palantonio.
God, I love this night. It's fantastic. Football night in Philadelphia. You know, they don't have this anywhere else in the country. And I go all over the country, and people always ask me, Sal, what is wrong with the Philadelphia fan base? And I always say to them, whoa, whoa, whoa. You have a fan base. We have a family. That's the difference. All you got to do is come to the Otho Davis Scholarship Foundation dinner, and you will see that family in action. Can I get a big standing ovation for the Otho Davis Foundation dinner and the football family of Philadelphia? Come on. Jim Solano said something that the Philly special was the greatest play in Eagles history. Jim, I love you. You're my brother, but you're wrong. It's the greatest play in Super Bowl history. Whoa, it's the greatest play in Super Bowl history. Ipso facto, it's the greatest play in NFL history. 4 days after the game, the day before the biggest championship parade in city's history, I had a quiet moment with Nick Foles outside the Eagles locker room at the team's NovaCare complex. Nick, I said to him, I hope you know what you've done. You've erased 3 generations of doubt and disappointment and disrespect, not only for this team and this franchise, but for a community of people, a family of people, millions of fans around this area and all over the country who have waited precisely for this moment. And Nick Foles just looked at me, and he soaked it all in. And I knew that he got it. He understood it. And I continued, just from my personal perspective, I've covered this team for 25 years, trying to tell the story of this quest. That's a lot of road trips, man. A lot of Sundays away from my family. A lot of sacrifice that my family made for me to be with this team. So for my family, there is certainly elation and closure. You did it for all those families out there in this big, beautiful family of Philadelphia. And I can tell you, they are all feeling the same thing that I'm feeling right now. And Nick Foles reached out to me, and he hugged me. And he said, man, that's awesome. Yes, it is, I said. And I said, thank you.
Just about 45 minutes ago, Nick's coach from that tremendous day, Doug Peterson, just less than an hour ago, sent a video. We're going to get to the Philly special in a moment. First, his coach, Doug Peterson.
Hey, everyone. This is Doug Peterson, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars and, of course, Super Bowl 52 champion Philadelphia Eagles. And tonight, I know you guys are honoring Nick Foles, and I just want to give a shout-out to him. Congratulations, Nick. I appreciate everything you did for me back in Philadelphia and, of course, helping us win Super Bowl 52. And to all the other teammates and players and maybe coaches that are in attendance tonight, I just want to say thank you to you, too, for your sacrifice, for giving of yourself for the team and what we did that year. Something very special and something very magical, and I'll always remember that, remember you guys. But congratulations, Nick, and wish you all the best.
Great job, Doug Peterson. All right, before we roll this video and this play, and I'm sure for almost all of you, it's the first time seeing the moment while in the room with Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, let's roll the film of the Philly special.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Philly special. Ready?
Foles in the gun.
Here we go.
Clement now lines up behind Foles.
Easy. Kill. Lane.
Goes directly to Clement. Reverses it. The pass goes into the end zone. And it is a touchdown by Nick Foles.
They brought it out in the Super Bowl.
The surprising element is Nick Foles being on the end of the pass.
Let's go! I was doing it right there. I know. Great call.
This play call has a chance to be remembered as one of the all-time greats.
Holy smokes! What did we just see?
And there it is, the Philly special, Nick Foles.
Here we go. Lane.
You gotta sign it.
Hold on, I got a picture to see you.
You got a picture.
That's a great check.
Thank you, dude.
Okay, so we're going to open the bidding at $1,000. I got 65, then 7. I got 7,500. I got 8,000 right here.
There we go.
You went 10?
We got 10 in the house, man.
10,000 going twice. 15,000. Wow. Are you two together? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the gentleman in the back. I'll roll you back to 10 if you'll go 10 and we do 2. Yes. There we go. Sold.
Hey, that was smart. Nice job.
Congratulations to our two bidders. Thank you to them. Seth, thank you to you for leading that auction. Ray and Dave, please take it away, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Jason, we'll start with you. As Nick goes to the sidelines, what are you thinking?
We're just sitting there waiting for the play to come in, and I remember Nick coming back and saying, we're going to run it. We're going to run Philly special. And I remember initially thinking, we're going to run that play right now? And then after a second, I was like, you know what? This is just crazy enough in my work. We hadn't really repped it that week. So I don't know why you thought of that in that moment, but good job.
Yeah, Nick, why did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, the context of that situation, we were talking about it earlier, is, Doug and the offensive staff did a great job calling plays the entire year, except for the play before the Philly special that we call a timeout. He called speed option left or right. So let's just think about that. Speed option, 4th and 1, Super Bowl, me running it. I hadn't run it since high school. Wasn't great at it in high school either. We ran it in practice. I'm pretty sure the defense, we had a bobbled exchange, and it wasn't great. So we called a timeout, and I was like, if we're going to be this crazy, let's just go Philly special. So there's just sometimes as a quarterback that you have plays in your gut in different situations that you're like, this is what's going to work. So running over to Doug, asking for you want Philly is a really cool moment because Doug was my quarterback coach my rookie year. So in that moment, there's a lot of history between me and Doug. So Doug saying, yeah, let's do it. I think that shows a lot of trust in me in that relationship. I mean, worked me out at Westlake High School, pre-draft, so there's a lot of history there. And then I was just trying not to smile. I was so excited. I mean, I get to go out for a pass in the Super Bowl, and we've never really talked about this. Y'all saw it on the TV, but NFL Films cut it out. I didn't just go in there and lift my wristband and say Philly special. I would have known the play a little bit better than that. So the play is going in the huddle. I probably said something like, hey, on the lane, hey, pistol, target left bunch, Philly special, on the lane. That's the play. So that's the play that I called, but they cut just the Philly special. Y'all actually are the only ones that probably ever heard the real play. That being said, pretty awesome play. And then, the guy to my right doesn't get enough credit. If Trey doesn't throw a dime, we're probably not sitting here right now. So great job, Trey.
When was this play introduced to you guys?
Yeah, I think this is a great Corey question.
That's crazy. I think we actually ran this one time before we actually left to Minnesota, and it wasn't really repped enough when we were in Minnesota. So the play was kind of just not in the groove. Not in our train of thought when we got to the time frame, and I was just like, man, if this happens, this could be something special. When it comes down to it, Coach Doug Peterson always puts us in the right position to make sure we excel at the highest point possible. And when it comes down to Nick, there's no flinching. And when he gets into the huddle, there's no flinch about him. So we just looked at him and said, whatever is next, we're going to execute and score this touchdown and close out the half. So that's how it happens.
When you made the call, Nick, in the huddle, guys, did anybody's eyes pop?
Initially, I was like, we're running that? Because of what Corey just said. We had repped it in practice, and it did not look like the best play, especially the first time we repped it. We did it a second time, and it was like, okay, this is better, but I thought it was far from being run in the Super Bowl. Nick just said that Trey deserves a lot of credit for being unheralded in this play. Corey had to catch my snap, which I don't think anybody in here knows. I am the worst shotgun snapper you want to be catching a ball from. Nick will vouch for me. I got a rocket for a shotgun snap. So that's why Corey was nervous, because he had the hardest job on the play, which was to catch the snap.
And I was still nervous just now, dude, just catching yours. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that was the most stressful part about it, because I could have ruined the whole play before it started.
No, Jason speaks the truth, honestly. Greatest center of all time, worst snapper in the shotgun of all time. everyone wanted to ask why. I mean, Jalen Hurts having a great year and everything. Everyone's watching like, man, why is he like this? And I'm sitting there, I'll tell you why. Watch the snap. You freaking like a shortstop? I mean, so warm weather games, not a big deal. Well, this is stance in warm weather games. Cold weather games, that stance gets like this because I had no clue. And then, hey, one of your fingers doesn't even work, right?
Yeah, this one doesn't bet.
Yeah.
So with all that said, Corey, you're getting ready to get the snap. See.
I mean, I was hoping he didn't think I was Nick Foles at least 5 inches taller because it could have went right over my head like it was nothing. And I was fortunate that he gave me a little bit of courtesy shotgun snap. Yeah, he took a little bit of hot sauce off, which I appreciate. And I think it was up to Trey after that because I gave it to him. I said, it's up to you now. And figured out after this, once I pitched it off, and I was, I didn't want to look around and look at Nick because I feel like if I looked at Nick, he would have dropped it. It always happens like that. So I just kept my eyes straight and listened to the crowd, and it was in our favor.
Beautiful.
There we go.
I don't know how many of you folks knew this. I think it's one of the great unknown facts about that Super Bowl. But in that Super Bowl, the two teams, the Patriots and the Eagles, combined for 1,151 yards of total offense. It is the most total yardage in any game in National Football League history. It was the most prolific offensive game in the history of the NFL. Not just postseason, any game ever played, more yardage in that game. And here we are talking about 1 yard. 1 yard. The play that will always represent that game was 1 yard out of 1,151 yards. But what I was going to ask you, Nick, it's obvious when you go over and you're talking to Doug, Doug's looking at the card. He's looking for something. It wasn't that, but he's looking for something. Did you ever ask him what he would have called if you hadn't called what you did?
What's funny, more history of that game is I actually ran a wrong play in the game before the 4th and 1 that Ertz caught, the one that we show the highlight. I did not know this till off-season training the following year. They're like, you called the wrong play. I was like, what do you mean I called the wrong play? They're like, you called we call play 51 on the wristband, you called play 53. And then I was like, no, are you serious? The reason the play is so special is like the guys up here. I mean, the reason the Eagles are so special, and they always are, is because of the team, because of the people at the NovaCare facility, because when we go on the link, the fans, the energy, opponents don't like playing here. I have many friends that were on the Vikings. To this day, they say, man, if we played that in Minnesota, we win that game. I'm like, I don't agree with that, but I do know that our fans give us a huge advantage, so we're grateful for the fans for creating that energy every single day.
But the other part of it is that Nick had to sell the play. Nick, the actor, tell us about it.
It's like, hey, let's act like I'm audibling. Hey, easy, something we tell the O-line to be like, hey, chill, I'm about to change the play. Hey, kill means we're going to a second play. And then it's like, hey, I'm going to act like I'm going to Lane to tell him something, so I'm yelling at Lane. It's easy to yell at Lane. I think we yell at Lane almost every day. So it's just something that's natural within our team. So I go over Lane, and that triggers Jason to have his best shotgun snap of his entire career to Corey. So the acting was really big because the acting at the beginning wasn't great at all, and that's probably why we kept it, not called for a while.
And then Trey, let's talk about the throw.
I remember Doug saying in the huddle during practice.
What was the catch like for you, Nick? I mean, I knew you were a tight end in college, in high school. In high school,
and then maybe a little on scout team in college.
Okay.
You know what? I think the biggest thing was selling it and making sure no defender came with me, and then when I ran out there, Trey made an unbelievable throw to make it really easy, and I just made sure I framed it, and I had just watched Tom on the clip we saw earlier drop the ball, and you know what? That might have been what really got it in my, stomach to run that play. I watched him run it and then drop it. I'm like, we're going to run it and we're going to catch it.
When I was at WIP, we did an interview with Gene Steratore, who was the referee in that game. And Steratore had a practice that I don't know if every referee does it, but Gene believed in doing it, was before the game, he went to each head coach and asked him, do you have anything special planned for this game? just so that the crew wouldn't be caught by surprise. Just so the officials would are you thinking maybe in a 4th down situation you might fake punt? Or are you thinking in a possible situation you might onside kick? Just so the officiating crew would be able to be heads up and they wouldn't be surprised. And when Steratore asked Doug, do you have anything that you're thinking about that we should know about? Doug said, nah, we're good. So it was obvious before the game, Philly special was not on his mind at all.
That's the beauty of it. He didn't even know he was going to call it. How would the Patriots know that he's going to call it? But I remember it being in the huddle. I remember, what are we doing running this play? I was like, you know what? It's 4th down. These guys are going to be so aggressive. There's no way anybody's going to remember to cover Nick Foles, like the least likely person to catch this ball. And so exactly. I thought it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And
so are you saying I'm brilliant because
I said that was brilliant?
I was a part of calling that, so that means
you were brilliant at that moment.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to make sure you were.
But I think I love that play, and there's so many things from that year that I think symbolize the entire season, and the fact that 4 different people touched that play and made it happen, and the 4 guys that did, and you know that whole team, the underdog mentality, what it became. I still remember when Carson went down. Malcolm Jenkins was here earlier. I remember the confidence he had, even in the locker room, right after we lost Carson, who was having an MVP season, and everybody was kind of, what's going to happen. And, we were all confident in Nick because we had played with him before. We had seen him execute at a high level, and we had a really good just group of guys. And that team, it really is like a storybook that is the first team that won the Super Bowl. Because I don't know that that's the best team that's ever played in Philadelphia. But I think in some ways that's the beauty behind it. And the beauty that Nick Foles ended up having the game of his life in the biggest stage possible, the underdog spirit that team embodied, that the city, I think, identifies with in a lot of regards. And it was just an incredible moment symbolized in a play that wasn't in the game plan, that 4 guys that were not the stars of the team, especially not coming into the season, really made happen. And, this guy is really special to me, and he's really special to a lot of guys in that team. Dick Vermeil talked about connection. You hear him talk about the different pieces and knowing that JP's going to jump off sides once a game and he's going to tell you, I got you. It's on me. I got it. Yep. The connection and the ability to be with your guys, it's so important at that position. And I think I speak for everybody on the team that everybody loved Nick Foles. With every fiber in their being, he made everyone else feel like they were important. He had that aura in the huddle that you were out there playing with your buddy that you grew up with down the street. And you wanted to go out there and play for him. And that was one of the beautiful things. And we ran a play that probably would have been designed out on the playground, you know what I mean? So, good job, buddy.
Great. Appreciate that.
Thanks very much to Corey Clement, Trey Burton, Nick Foles, Jason Kelsey, Ray Didinger. The Philly special.
Awesome stuff, guys.
Super Bowl 52 champions.